So we're nearing the end of the workday, and I'm trying to get the last few orders out. And a woman comes in, and this is like one of my least favorite things in the world, but she's on the phone when she comes in, and she does not leave the phone when she's actually placing her order. So she's been like, for this entire story, she is on the phone and starts by asking me questions, but is obviously not listening to what I have to say because they're actively on the phone with someone else. And so I finally managed to extrapolate what their order is out of the word salad that they're giving me. And I put in their order, and then finally it comes out, and she gets her order back. She proceeds to complain that there is a plate missing, and I'm trying to like rationalize what she's missing, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that she's missing until I realize, like, oh, yeah, she's asking for something that she never actually ordered. And she said, well, yes, I did. You weren't listening. And in my head, I'm thinking, you were on the phone. Like, it was my job to listen to you order, but you were on the phone. Anyway, I pull out her receipt and I count and go through each individual item. And then she realizes that, yeah, she never actually said what she wanted, and then just says, well, yeah, then I want that. And so I proceed with the rest of her order, take her order. She gets her stuff. And before this, like, she's going through her food and then just plants her food directly, like, in my station where I have to work. And I have to ask her, like, excuse me, because someone else has to come up and order more food. So she has to move her stuff slightly to the side. And I'm sure this entire time she's just expecting me to explode. Like, just to move your things, like, get your stuff away from me, like, all this stuff. Like, I'm sure that she's expecting an emotional outburst. But I'm not going to give that to her because my goal is just to get you out of the restaurant and out of my life as soon as possible. So, I finally get her order. And she gets her stuff, checks it, and then as she leaves, she says thank you. And I ignore her because I don't feel appreciated at all in this entire interaction. And she turns around again, makes direct eye contact with me, and says, thank you. And then I just look down and I say, you're welcome. And I go about my business. And she just stood there for a little bit and then finally left. And I was like, oh my goodness. That felt so good. Like, just to just to be able to shove someone's rudeness right back into their face without actually giving them any reason to get upset. It's like, you know, that if you walked back in here and said, "Oh, I don't like how that went," and I can just ask you why. Like, what did I do wrong? And then there will be no answer. So, like, if you're in a customer service situation and you know that you're not doing wrong, like, just know that you should be able to trust your supervisor. And if you can't trust your supervisor, then just find a different job.